Alrighty, let's just get right into it. So, the point of this call, because I'm going to do four of these, I think, 4 or 5 of these. The point of this one is mainly for people who have no clue where to even start. I'm going to try and go through some of the basics as well as just like helping you guys pick like the bots you want to go with, things like that, and just answer some questions along the way. And then I think that should probably take about an hour, maybe hour 10 minutes. And then after that, I'm just gonna open it up for any questions because I know there's some people in here who do like bot currently that just need a little bit of help. So I'll just open it up for all questions after that. And then the cutoff will be just whenever we're done, or there's a Sam's Club drop in about 2 hours. We'll stop before that. But the first one of these is, like I said, dedicated to those who just have no idea what's going on. And then the second one of these I'm going to dedicate to Target. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that. I'll talk about that at the end. And then the third one will be Walmart. And then the fourth one will be just kind of like all the other extra sites because Target and Walmart are the two that like have this or have the most in-depth setup and strings attached to them. So really, I pulled up this notepad right here. I think this should be useful. I'm just going to jot down things as we go. We'll start with just what you'll need to start. Let's say you want to start botting tomorrow or tonight even. There's a few things that you'll need to start. So you'll need a computer. Some people do bot on a laptop, but realistically, a computer's better because you usually want something you can run 24/7 because a site specifically like a Target or Amazon, you want to have that running 24/7 because their restocks are completely random and you don't want to miss them. So you'll want a computer that you can run 24/7. Yep, someone just said that. How about a server? You can also get a server. There's tons of good providers for servers. For those of you that don't know what a server is it's essentially a virtual machine that's on 24/7. It would be like located, most of them are located in data centers in Virginia. And then you would connect into it with whatever. And it's a super powerful computer. And you can install the bot on that and set it up and let it run 24/7 on there. That most of them aren't super expensive. You can get a good virtual server for I think like 50, $60 a month. But that's something that like if you really are interested, like, hey, I don't have a computer I can run 24/7, but I want more information on servers specifically, you can go ahead and DM me and I'll explain kind of more in depth because I think that that's a situation that not a ton of you guys will like need. I think a lot of you have a computer that you'll be able to run 24/7. You're gonna need obviously payment methods. So the thing with botting is some of these websites aren't too excited to let you order tons and tons of orders. So you have to make it look like it's different people ordering them, and you guys have done that before with just your standard reselling. You want to use different cards, different emails, things like that. Accounts on some of these websites, you want to use different accounts. Some websites don't require accounts, some do. You just want to kind of have a good base ground. Okay, I've got a credit card, maybe two. Realistically, you'd like something that can generate virtual credit cards. Virtual credit cards are going to be your best friend because you can generate tons depending on the provider. Someone asked if Amex works because the CVV or CV whatever the security code is 4 digits instead of three. Yes, Amex works. Discover, Visa cards, MasterCards, whatever. We are partnered with Slash. If you guys have a LLC or any kind of business set up, you can get a Slash account. I believe it's free. And they are a bank account that allows you to just generate tons and tons of virtual cards linked to it. We're partnered with them. You can find the channel by just typing in #Slash. And that is a great start. They work on most websites. Some websites are pickier, but for getting started, Slash is super solid. Most of you have Capital One cards that you can generate Enos or Citi cards. Cities aren't as good as they used to be, but Amex Business and the list goes on and on. Most of these cards have a virtual card provider. And then you'll want email addresses. Most of you also have tons of those, just because as you guys are reselling day to day, you notice that you need multiple emails and things like that. What else? I guess that's really all that you need to start. Obviously, as you go, there's going to be more things that you add on to your setup, or you want to get to make your life easier or scale up. But to start, you don't need a whole lot. Next, I'll just kind of talk about how to pick which bot, because this whole call is going to be focused mainly towards botting and securing TCG products, so like Pokemon cards, One Piece cards, stuff like that. And the main websites that you secure those on are Target, Walmart, Pokemon Center, what else? Costco, Sam's Club. We got a Sam's Club drop tonight. And the list goes on and on. There's even niche sites like Crunchyroll, stuff like that. So you really have to pick your bot wisely, because not all bots support the same websites, and some of them have the websites, but they're not as good. So really, I'm going to try and focus these next 4 or 5 calls, like I said, on 2 main bots. They're always in stock. They're always available. And we have RC exclusive discounts for those bots to make sure that you guys can get up and running for cheaper than someone who doesn't have RC on their side. So the main 2 bots that we have are Refract and Stellar. So think of Refract as like the powerful bot. I'd say Refract's powerful, just because they run those main big sites. They run Target and Walmart, and they're extremely good on Target and Walmart. Those are the sites that restock the most often. Those are the sites that have the most stock. Those are the sites that are like, I'd like to say the most profitable. I mean, if you have a good setup on some of these other sites, I'm sure you can make great money. But those are the 2 sites that you're really, really looking for. As opposed to about like Stellar, which is more dynamic almost. Stellar has a lot of websites. They support tons and tons of stores, but they might not be as strong as Refract on some of those websites. So Refract's powerful, Stellar's dynamic. That's how I'd break it down, at least in my opinion. Basically, the thing is, when you're botting these big sites that Refract supports, like Walmart and Target, you definitely have to put in a decent amount of work. Like these, and that goes for all of these. It's not as simple as just let me buy the bot, put in my credit card, and hit go, and it just buys it for me. There's a decent amount of stuff that comes into it, and there's a lot of how do I put it? There's a lot of learning curves that you'll go through, and maybe ups and downs, but eventually you'll get it figured out to a point where you're good to go. I use Refract and Stellar. I also use Valor, which is another bot, and I also use Shikari. I use them all. Valor I don't think is always available, and Shikari I think is closed right now, but that's kind of why I'm not talking about them too much, just because I want to make sure that you guys are using good bots that are always available and easy for you guys to get your hands on and learn. So yeah, that's kind of the basis there. So I'm gonna just take some time to go over them one by one. Let me open up Refract, and I'll show you guys just kind of how it looks and what to expect when you're, getting started. Sorry, it takes a second to launch. We'll get there though. Let me see here while this is loading. What's the best VCC provider currently? Well, that depends on the website. Websites like Pokemon Center don't really like VCCs at all, so you might be better off using hard cards. A website like Walmart really likes Amex. Amex does really well on Walmart. A website like Target doesn't really like VCCs, but Amex, Capital One, all of those do have success. So it really just depends on what you're going for. All right, I've got Refract pulled up. So this is Refract. Refract costs $400. It's $400, and $400 gets you your first 3 months. So $400 gets you 3 months. Every month after those initial 3 months is $50 a month. So it's really not that bad if you think about it. You have 3 months to make your 400 back, which if you set up properly is a breeze in my opinion. Refract they support accounts obviously. All you would have to do is put in your account information here for Target, Walmart. They also support Amazon, which they do really well on, and Best Buy, but Best Buy doesn't really drop first come first serve anymore. So that's not really a website that we're too focused on, but they also support Best Buy and do really well. I think it's safe to say that every site Refract supports, and while it may not be that many, it does extremely well on. It's one of my go-tos, super reliable. I've been using it for years, and I never really have problems. Occasionally, that's just part of the game, though. There's going to be drops. Still to this day, I've been doing this for years, 7 years I've been doing this, and there's still days where I run the spot and I get nothing. And it's like, man, I'm still a student of the game myself, So as long as you put in the effort to set it up, though, I think that you guys are going to find consistent success. I've got plenty of people, if you scroll through success, it's hard to get you guys to post success these days, but there's plenty of people that I've helped that are cooking and getting product consistently and making decent money. So I'll be here to help you guys regardless of what bot you buy, regardless of when you buy, whatever. But for now, I'm just going to keep going. So with Refract, you'll add your accounts here, super easy, and then you'll add your proxies. This is the spot that I was looking to get to next, so this kind of works out perfectly. So the only other real cost that comes with botting, other than the bot, is the proxies. And what the proxies do is they basically are masking your IP so that it doesn't look like you're sending 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 Walmart accounts at Walmart from the same IP. Because then they're just going to block you and you're done. So what a proxy does is it masks that. And there's two kinds of proxies. Here, I'm going to clear this out. There are ISP proxies. These are a little more expensive, I guess, maybe not in the grand scheme of things, though. So with ISP proxies, what you'll do is you'll buy a set list, and let's say you want 25 ISP proxies. You'll buy your 25 ISP proxies, and you'll pay for them on a month-to-month basis usually. And for that month, you can use them as much as you want. You can run them 24/7, whatever. And they'll be fine. There's no usage, there's no upcharge, nothing like that. The problem with ISP proxies is that they are much faster, but easier, I can't type, to ban. They're easier to ban. So, they're more used for sites that require precision and speed, specifically like Target. Target uses ISP proxies, and if you have good ISP proxies, it's really easy to hit. They don't really, you don't really use them for Walmart all that often, realistically. With Walmart or a lot of other sites, you'll use residential proxies, just abbreviated to Resis. Resi proxies, think of residential proxies as like back in the day before there was unlimited data with all these cell phone providers. You would go in or whatever and you'd buy your cell phone data, your LTE or 5G data by the gigabyte, and you'd get 3, 4, 5 gigabytes a month. And think of it like that. So let's say I wanted to buy residential data. I'd buy 2 to 3 gigabytes of data. And then I can generate as many proxies as I want. I could generate 1 million proxies if I wanted to, or just 10, it doesn't matter. And they will be, your gigabytes will run out as you use them. So it just depends on how often you're using them. These are better for running drops like Walmart, which are only for about an hour at a time. You don't use too much data. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the breakdown here. It's kind of the opposite of ISPs. They're a little slower, but you can generate a ton, and they're way harder to ban. And that's why they work on websites that have super strict bot protection like Walmart. But it's very simple. So let's say you were to purchase some proxies and you're on Refract, you would just create a list. We'd call this our ISP proxies. And then we would just input our proxies. They literally look like a string, like your IP. So it'd be like 134.09, and then whatever your IP is, whatever. And then you'd input your proxies, and then it's not gonna let me do it because I don't have a user or a pass. So like you'd input your proxy, whether it's a list of 20 or 1,000, it doesn't matter. And then you can use those in your tasks, and that'll mask your IP, and then you're good to go. You can just run those as much as you want. And proxies are going to be necessary no matter which bot you buy. Whether you have any of the bots I've mentioned, you need proxies. The nice part is like I know some people who may have bought it in the past have a little PTSD because back in the day, proxies used to be extremely expensive. The nice part about that is that today they're not nearly as expensive as they used to be. I think for around 30, maybe 40, $50 a month, you can get a really good starter setup with proxies. And you'll be good to go. So I wouldn't worry too much about proxy costs, but it is going to be an added cost. Someone asked about the best proxy providers. So I'll just list off a couple of my favorites right now. I already have a GroupBuy secured. I believe it'll be tomorrow before Walmart with BART proxies. BART proxies residentials are really good on Walmart for me. So that's why I reached out. We got connected, and I'm trying to see if I can bring that service to you guys to get you guys some deals on their BART residential proxies, just because they do perform really well. XYZ and Hype offer really good ISP proxies. I've reached out to them. We'll see if we can get some sort of group buys going to get you guys some discounts on those if you're interested. And same with Lavish proxies. They're a newer proxy, but I've been using them here and there, and I actually really like them. So we'll see if we can get some group buys going there. We are partnered with Unknown Proxies. Our Unknown Proxies are pretty good. They're a good starter proxy. Their utility ISPs are decent for like monitoring products and things like that. But personally, I don't use Unknown as much as I used to, so I can't really sit down and like speak on their performance. So that's kind of some proxy providers. Like I said, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and react in reaction roles to get that group buy ping or roll so that I can ping you guys and tell you when there's good deals going on, because like I said, I'm really trying to bring botting more into RC so that more people are running it, because it is a really good way to make money, and I have a lot of experience and I'm willing to help. So I want to get more group buys going. I want to get more people running it, and I want to see more success, and we just want to get this thing rolling because right now it's really, really good. Back to Refract though. This is your profiles tab. Very clean and simple. All you have to do is make a profile group. We're just going to call this our RC profiles. We can give it a color if we want. You don't have to though, whatever. And then your profile is basically where your billing information goes. So you would put like your name, email address, your card information, your shipping address, all this stuff goes in this area. And then what you'll do is once you have your payment information in there, your proxy information in there, and your accounts in there, you'll just make your tasks. You'll make your target tasks that you'll select which products you want it to go for. You'll add your payment, your account, and your proxy information, and you'll hit start. And As far as setting up actual tasks for Target and Walmart, I plan, like I said, I'm going to keep referencing this back just because I know we have people coming in and out of here. I plan to do 3 or 4 more calls just like this where I teach you guys Target, I teach you guys Walmart with in-depth setups to show you guys how to get it set up and running properly. This call is more so just to get people familiar with what the bots look like, how much the bots cost, what you need to get started, etc. So that's pretty much it for Refract. Like I said, I think Refract is very much so the easiest bot to start with. It's super user friendly. There's not a bunch of extra unnecessary like buttons or settings or features. They keep it very easy to run and set up and to understand. I am a big fan of how they do it, and I'm a big fan of Refract as a whole. That's going to be probably the end of my little demo for Refract. We'll move on to Stellar here in a second, but let me go through these questions really quickly because I see we have some questions. Is it easy to get approved for Slash? That's in reference to the Slash VCCs that we mentioned. I believe it is. I think you just need any kind of business EIN and you're good to go. Is this session recorded in case there's something I want to refer back to later? Yes, it is recorded. I think originally I said it wasn't recorded, but I just wanted you guys to show up. But yeah, I'm recording it. Which proxy provider is best? I think I answered that. Is Refract and Stellar compatible with Mac OS? Yes, Refract and Stellar are both compatible with Mac OS. Some bots run better on Mac OS, so not that you need a Mac. I'm just chatting. The speaker sounds cute. Oh man, is he still here? No, he's gone. I answered unknown proxies. Does Refract run Costco and Sam's Club? No. Refract site list is as follows. Amazon, they've got Apple, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. That's all you get on Refract. Those are the big hitter sites though. I mean, these are the sites that restock the most. This is where you're going to get most of your value. I mean, look at a website like Costco. You're only going to be able to hit 1 or 2 because you don't have a ton of Costco memberships. Unless you do. I know some people do. I have a decent amount. But if you only have 1 or 2 of those, what's the point of even botting it? You can just do it yourself manually. And then Sam's Club is the same way. You need a bunch of memberships. If you don't have a bunch, then what's the point of the bot? But like Target, Walmart, these are the hard websites to hit, but they also have so much stock. So it's like, okay, let's go ahead and get Refract, even though it has a smaller site list. It's going to make me the most money the quickest just because those big websites have the best chance of actually securing product. Can Walmart Target be ran on a server? I heard Pokemon Center's not good on a server. So Walmart 100% can be ran on a server. Target's a little tougher because Target takes your device fingerprint into consideration when you're trying to pass their bot protection. So Target can just be a little tougher because of that. But personally, I run Target on a server. It's just kind of a learning curve to it. That's all. Pokemon Center's not good on a server. That's not the case. Pokemon Center's a little different just based on the way that it works with the CAPTCHAs, but no, Pokemon Center should be perfectly fine on a server as long as you have a good CAPTCHA setup. I'm sorry if you answered this at all, but I just came back. Is AYCD still needed at all? Needed? No. Helpful? Yeah, sure, totally. For those of you who don't know, AYCD is a tool, and what it does is it can help you generate profiles, it can help you do jigs, it can help you manage your cards, and it can also generate accounts. It's a pretty reasonable price tool. I think it's $20 a month. I can look into getting a group buy for us and maybe setting up a call to teach it. It's not my favorite thing to teach just because it's kind of complex, but it's still useful. But I would not say it's necessary. Does Refract run Pokemon Center? No, Refract does not. How many emails do I use? I have hundreds of emails. Is 3 enough? I'd say 3's enough for starting with Target. With Target, you don't need a massive setup with Target. 5 to 10 accounts is perfect for Target. But if you want to run Walmart, you're gonna need I'm gonna need some a decent amount of emails to run Walmart, but there's ways to get around emails. Like I know you can generate iClouds and Outlooks pretty cheaply, if not free. So things like that are options. And yeah, if you want more in depths about like getting multiple emails and figuring that out, you can DM me and I'll refer you to some decent options. How many Sam's memberships do I have personally? I think I just have one Plus account, which is interesting because usually I have more than that. And then I have like 10 normal. I don't run that hard on Sam's because honestly, it's not really a website that I care to put that much effort into. I'd rather focus on websites like Target and Walmart that don't require a membership. Would I be wasting my time setting up on a Mac laptop? Do you recommend going all in with a PC setup? So the problem with running on a Mac laptop is it's fine. Like you could totally run on a Mac laptop, but you want something that you can run 24/7 because a bot that's running Target where they restock like randomly, you want it to just always be running. Would Valor be better for Pokemon Center? Well, Valor would definitely be better for Pokemon Center than Refract because Refract doesn't have Pokemon Center. But I personally prefer Stellar over Valor for Pokemon Center because Stellar doesn't have just Pokemon Center. They have Pokemon Center, Sam's, Nvidia, Costco, Crunchyroll. They have a ton of websites that they support, so you're getting a better bang for your buck with Stellar, in my opinion. Curious about multiple Target accounts shipping to the same address. How many different ones do you use? I have like 5 addresses that I use. The more, the better for Target. But like I said, if you're only going to start with like 5 accounts, which is a decent amount of accounts, like realistically, I know people who have just 5 Target accounts, run it, and they hit pretty well. But the more addresses, the better because the more accounts you can run. Simple as that. Can I explain CAPTCHA and how to use/get? You know what? Like I said, at the end of this, like when I'm done going over, I can help people who like have the bots already and want to. So if you wouldn't mind waiting until we're done, like going over these beginner questions, I'd be more than happy to help you get a decent grasp on which CAPTCHAs you need for Pokemon Center. The other thing that held me back from botting is having multiple emails, accounts, payment methods. Can we get a walkthrough for that at some point? Yeah, I mean, totally. Personally, if you're like really looking to start out, I know you can make like a Gmail or 2 a day. You could just make a Gmail every day for like a week. Next thing you know, you've got 7 emails. It's a great basis. You can make a Gmail, an Outlook, and an iCloud every day for a week. Next thing you know, after a week, you've got 21 emails. It's not that hard to stack up emails if you just take a little bit of time out of your day to make them here and there and kind of get yourself situated. That's what I did when I first started out. Best website for VCCs. I've talked about this a couple times. Pretty much every VCC should be good. I mean, personally, I like the Capital One VCCs and the or that's the same thing. The Amex VCCs are good too. When you stated that emails need to be different, is using emails with the same name not recommended? Nah, that doesn't matter. They can have the same name on them. I have a ton that have the same name on them. Any chance at mobile bots like Swift? I don't run Swift. I don't think like it's good. It hits here and there. It's just not really worth my time to set it up on a phone and run it here and there. I don't think I have any plans to do a group buy on it just because I don't know if I could properly teach it to you guys. But I wouldn't say never. We'll just have to see. But as of right now, I don't plan on teaching or really covering Swift AIO too much. Does Stellar run Target and Walmart? Yes, Stellar does run Walmart and Target and Amazon and Best Buy, just like Refract. The problem is that Refract is a step above Stellar on Walmart and Target. There's a noticeable difference in Refract's performance on Target and Walmart. It's much better in my opinion. When you say you have 5 addresses, are they just slightly different, but all to the same address, or 5 separate places? 5 separate places. Like my address, I've got friends and family that let me send stuff there. If you want to slightly adjust your your address, that would be jigging. That's where you just change little things here or there. Here. Let's see here. Think of it like this. Like let's say you lived on Parkway Avenue. You could do Parkway AV, Parkway AVE, Parkway AVEN, EV, like things like this. Here, I'll drop this in the chat for you guys to play with if you guys want. That's like basic jigging. I have a guide. If you go into staff announcements in RC and search jig, you'll see that I posted like a full in-depth guide on how to jig. I did it for the US Mint, but those strategies work on other websites. Do fresh Gmails work or older age Gmails needed? No, you can use fresh emails. Those emails are basically just used to receive your order confirmations. It's not like it has any effect. Or if you're going to create accounts on them, it doesn't matter. Fresh emails are fine. Is it easy for you to get Pokemon? What's the difference with age or regular Gmail accounts? No difference, just as I just said. Hey, I'm not able to attend the whole event. Will this be recorded and accessible later? Yes. Kind of more off topic, but how do you go around email or Gmail asking for phone number when creating a new email? I think you just have to wait that out. So sometimes they're more strict than others. What do the profit margins look like on an average Pokemon drop? It really just depends on the product. There's a ton of different ones. So the newest set is called Ascended Heroes, and those margins are upwards of 60, 75%, maybe even closer to 100% on some of the products. Super good margins on a lot of them. Perfect. Carlos just posted my jig guide here. Is the Refract bot the best on the market? I think it's the best Walmart bot on the market, without a doubt. Do I rip or sell them? I sell them. Ripping them is terrible, terrible odds. How easy is it to get One Piece? Well, One Piece doesn't restock as often as Pokemon. Their supply line's not the same. The way that it goes isn't the same. Realistically, if you're looking to only get your hands on One Piece, I don't know if botting's going to be your best method, but definitely your best method to get your hands on Pokemon cards. You ever get people that send you their wins when they do rip it, and how annoying is that? I mean, I don't care. I want to see everyone win. Do you know how good Stellar is for NVIDIA? Okay, I'm going to pivot to Stellar now. That's a good point for me to just pivot over to Stellar and kind of show you guys the walkthrough and the bare bones of Stellar, the same way I did with Refract. And then we'll just go back and continue with some questions. So this is Stellar. Stellar runs, like I said, a plethora of websites. Stellar is cheaper than Refract. It is $150 for 3 months. You have to buy 3 months at a time. So it's essentially just $50 a month. The only issue with Stellar is you might just have times where you just don't really use it. If Pokemon Center is dry, there's no real drops or anything. Obviously, you can still set up Target and Walmart and run it. It's just not as good as Refract on those specific websites. Because of that, I'm not going to go too in-depth on those websites tonight. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole Target seminar, a whole Walmart seminar, and for those, I'll show both Refract and Stellar. This is more so just to get you guys onboarded and comfortable with it and see if we can't get some more of you guys botting, because, that's the way to get some cards these days. So if you immediately look at these tabs here, you can see that it actually is pretty similar to Refract. You have your profiles tab. All my stuff's in here, so yeah. Your profiles tab you can name your group. Like, okay, this is just for an example, so I'll just do an RC example. So you make a profile group, click it, and you add your profile. Just like Refract. This is where your name, your address information, all that information goes. Your card types, all that stuff just goes right here. Then you can move down to your proxies, and you can add your group of proxies. and then you'll just input them here. I think I did something along those lines last time, just kind of showed you guys an example. An example proxy just to kind of show you how it works. And then identities is the same as accounts for Stellar. They just word it differently. You just would pick your website. Oh, I want to add Best Buy accounts. You'd make a Best Buy group, RC example for your accounts. And then when you're in here, you just simply put in your account email, password, things like that. And you'll be good to go. There's a tab that's a little different in here. This one's CAPTCHA tag. This is because when you run Pokemon Center, you know how like you open up the website and there's a CAPTCHA there that you have to solve. And that CAPTCHA is to let you into the website. Well, the bot actually handles that for you with a local AI solver. That's a huge plus with Stellar. They'll handle those CAPTCHAs for you. You just have to make solvers, and then when you open the solver, it looks like this, and it just sits here refreshing until the CAPTCHA shows up. So that's pretty convenient. And yeah, you'll use a proxy in here. I removed my proxies just because I didn't want to show you guys my proxies. But you'll put a proxy in at least a couple of them. You can run some with no proxy. And then tags, I don't even know what this is. I literally never use this tab. Same with WebSockets. And yeah, it's really the same at the end of the day. It's very, very similar to the to Refract. It's just they have a bunch of different websites. Like I said, you can run Costco here. Let's just see if I can't just show you guys all these websites that they have. I don't even know what ABC Mart is, to be honest with you. I see Amazon, Apple, Best Buy, Barnes & Noble, Argos, Best Buy Canada, Books A Million, Costco, Canon, Crunchyroll, Dick's Sporting Goods, Five Below. Oh man, these people have a lot of websites. Lego, Lowe's, Menards, Nvidia. Someone asked about Nvidia, right? They said, how good is Stellar for Nvidia? Good. I've been trying to run it, but Nvidia hasn't restocked in like 3 months. I've been like having it ready to go. And yeah, none of these sites really want to restock for me. Pokemon Center, like I said, very, very long site list. The thing with this is you have to also realize like the thing that you have to realize is like, okay, they have a lot of websites to manage. The developers are very busy making sure that all these websites are up and running. So you might see performance on a specific website like dip. You might see performance go down. Like Target, Stellar's Target did not work for like a long time. It was broken. Same with their Walmart. And you might see that because they have so many websites that they have to take care of that sometimes performance on one website might drop while they're working on another. That's kind of a downside of them having a lot of websites, but the plus is that you get a lot of websites. So you kind of just have to weigh out that risk to yourself. But that's kind of just what Stellar looks like and how it functions and things like that. I guess I'll put in my input. In my opinion, right? If you're looking to get started, I know that it's more expensive. But if you're looking to get started, if you buy Refract and set up a starter setup, and to me a starter setup would be like 3 to 10, somewhere in that range, Target accounts, and like 20 to 50 Walmart accounts, which maybe sounds like a lot because that's a lot of accounts to generate, manage, or whatever. You could even buy them too. People sell Walmart accounts. Wow, I said that as someone asked if you can buy them. Yeah, you can buy Walmart accounts. That's fine. Nowadays, it's kind of the only option because generating them just got a lot more expensive. So if you start, like I said, a little starting setup would be like 3 to 10 Target accounts and like somewhere between 20 and 50 Walmart accounts. I think that's a great starting point. And I think there's a lot of, I think you could hit more than you'd expect. Now, if you wanted to go, okay, I don't want to spread myself too thin. I want to make sure that I have options. You could go with Stellar. Like I said, it's cheaper. And you can run two, but like I said, I mean, about like Stellar is not going to hit Target and Walmart as good as Refract. It's just not going to happen. And those are the sites that restock the most. So you kind of are rolling the dice. Hey, is Pokemon Center going to restock a lot this month? Is Crunchyroll going to drop? You know what I mean? Like, that's totally something that you'd have to consider. If you were a real baller, you'd get both. And then you're covered. You just have to set up both. That's my opinion. I see this is, I don't want to stray you guys one way or another. I just am going to tell you my opinions here. I see more people start with Refract and succeed as opposed to people who start with Stellar. It could be because Stellar's a little overwhelming. Just because it's not as easy to use as Refract, but also it is cheaper. So you're risking less to potentially, hit a decent amount still. I don't think either one's a bad bot. As you saw, I accidentally flashed my dashboard, but I have hundreds of checkouts with Stellar and hundreds of checkouts with Refract. Both bots work, is what I'm trying to say. But if you're starting out, I think Refract's the better starting bot. Let me go through some of these questions that I've been getting. Can you help us with making solvers in Stellar? Yes, I'll help you soon. I'm almost done going through these, demos, I guess you could say. Best platform to sell? Oh, you're talking about cards themselves. Local, eBay, cash out servers, things like that. It's nothing really out of the ordinary. If Refract is better than Stellar for Walmart and Target, how much better Stellar for Walmart and Target versus trying to hit manually? Asking to weigh the cost less benefit given the cost differential. That's actually a really good question. I don't that's the thing. If you're gonna get Stellar and run like 10 Walmart accounts, I wouldn't waste your time. You need a ton of Walmart accounts to make Stellar have good odds. And you need a lot for Refract too, don't get me wrong, but Stellar's Walmart success is very small compared to Refract's. Refract's will hit thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of checkouts, while Stellar only gets a couple hundred max. And that's not to say that in a couple weeks, as Stellar continues to improve, they also do well, but I mean, Refract has been consistently at the top of Walmart for quite some time. As far as Target goes, I think Stellar's Target is pretty solid now. It took them a long time to get it back to this point, but I'd say it's equal. Not equal. I don't know. That's kind of hard to answer. I think that if you were going to get Stellar specifically for Target and Walmart, I wouldn't waste your money. If you want to get Stellar because you want to run Pokemon Center and Costco and things like that, and then you're also just going to throw tasks at Walmart and Target, then it's worth it. But if you're going to get it specifically for Target and Walmart, pay the extra money and get Refract. I know it's expensive, but it's worth it. On Stellar, if we gave a CA address, can we run US and CA at the same time? Well, it depends on if Stellar supports that website. So you wouldn't be able to ship items from Walmart Canada to the US, and you wouldn't be able to ship items from Walmart US to Canada. So you'd have to run Walmart Canada and Walmart US. The only downside to that is that I run all of our TCG information. I don't support Canada. I don't post info for Canada because I think our Canadian user base is minuscule. How much are recent drops required Walmart Plus? Doesn't add up a lot. The only drops, that was a week-long Pokemon Week thing, but there's a Walmart drop tomorrow that doesn't require Walmart Plus. Usually the standard Walmart Wednesdays we see every Wednesday night don't require Walmart Plus. But if you were going to add Walmart Plus to your accounts, yeah, it can add up. It's $13 an account across as many accounts as you want. I mean, I run hundreds of accounts on Walmart, but when it's a Walmart Plus drop, I might only run 30, 40. And that's, I have experience. You might only want to run 2 to 3. It just depends as you're starting out and building your setup up and up. How much product do you hit on average with refract percentage works? How much, can you reword that for me, brother, if you're still here? I plan on running on a server. Can I control through my phone while at work? Yeah, you just have to get the like a team viewer or remote desktop, something like that. How many Walmart accounts do we need for refract in comparison to Stellar? I mean, I think that if you had like I said, like 20 to 50 Walmart accounts, that's a good starting line. And just as you continue to hit, you just also just add a couple accounts here and there. Hey, I hit today. I did pretty good. I made a bunch of money. Let me take a little bit of that profit and buy some more accounts and stack up. For making Walmart and Target accounts, are accounts from family members fine? Do new accounts need to have a different name? Yeah, you can use your family and friends accounts if they'll let you. There's nothing wrong with that. And they can have the same name. It doesn't really matter. How many different physical addresses per account would you say is best for success after jigging? So on Walmart, I actually run all of my Walmart to the same address. I just jig the address and call it a day. Walmart doesn't really care too much about the address. They care more about like just account age, order history, things like that. But for those of you, I'm sure you've seen the stuff where people go and they buy like a ton of like bananas or shit on a Walmart account to age it. I'm air quoting right now, age it. That shit's not worth your time. Don't worry about stuff like that. Just run the accounts and over time they'll start to stick, with Walmart at least. For Target, I think if you could run like 2 to 3 accounts per address safely, and not have to worry about cancels. When you go over that, you have to really, really, really put in some work to figure out the correct jig combo, card combo, things like that in order to get your orders to stick. But if you're only going to run 2 to 3 accounts per address on Target, that's fine. And you don't need a lot of accounts for Target. 2 to 3 per address. Let's say you do 2 per address and you've got 4 addresses. That's 8 accounts you can run, and that's perfect. Besides Pokemon, what other popular drops happen right now with big margins? Nvidia's pretty good. He's not wrong there. But I mean, there's been One Piece drops. There's been the tins, the illustration boxes, things like that. There's also decent sports cards. I know the beginning of January we had Optic 2025, and while prices on those aren't great right now, I was doing really, really, really well with those when those first came out, buying them off Target and Walmart. When you create the Walmart accounts, do you use your same info like birthday, name, etc.? Nah, I use random information. Where can we get info on which bots are performing well? Which cards perform best and where without having years of experience? Well, I mean, I'm telling you now. I guess that's kind of a plus. I'm telling you that which bots work on which websites, but also just once you're in it, you kind of know. Okay, hey, Refract didn't do that well today. Oh, that's because this bot hit. Or, oh, the Refract cooked. That's why nobody else hit. Things like that. Which cards perform best and where, etc. I mean, that's also something that you just pick up as you go. Oh, these cards weren't as good today as these ones, or something like that. On Walmart or Target, do the bots loop? Like once it checks out, can it run the same account? Yeah, the Target is really the only one that's viable on, because on Walmart you'd have to wait in the queue again, and that's not really too viable. But on Target, you can check out on the same account twice. So you can set it to loop. Not sometimes it's out of stock before it can loop, but yeah, you could set it to loop. Here, I'll show you actually. If I've got these Target tasks and I open it up, I can set it loop checkouts right here. I can turn that on, and max checkouts would be 2, and then it'll check out 2 times per account max. You don't want to do more than that because they're just going to cancel you for quantity limit. And that's kind of the gist for looping. Stellar has that option as well. It's not just Refract exclusive. What are some good ways to get address besides friends and family? I mean, that's really the only way in my book. I mean, you can ask neighbors, and things like that. I know I wouldn't recommend PO boxes necessarily, but you could definitely I believe UPS has like a virtual mailbox type of thing. You could try that. I know some people have luck with that. Um, I said I have 5 addresses. Does it really help having extra addresses instead of just jigging one? If so, for those who can't get easy access to more, what about private mailboxes? I just talked about that. Private mailboxes, I wouldn't go to I don't think that that's something you really need to worry about when you're just starting out. I think the first thing you want to do is just start. Okay, after a drop or two, you're like, man, I need more addresses. What can I do from there? But you might start with one address or two or whatever and be like, I'm good. I don't need anything else here. Do you run 2 bots at the same time? Is it efficient to do that? You don't want to run 2 target bots on the same device. You want to run just one bot, stick with it. But I don't really have to worry about that because if I'm running Pokemon Center, I'm using Stellar anyways. So, and if I'm running Walmart, I'm using Refract. So there's no reason for me to really have to cross. But you can, if let's say I have Target running on Refract 24/7, like, oh, Refract's sitting over here running Target and Pokemon Center drops, I can run Stellar normally. I don't have to close Refract. You know what I mean? Unless you have just like a terrible, terrible computer, but any computer should be able to handle both. I wouldn't worry about that. What has been my best drop recently? All of them. Uh, if I get Refract tonight, is it possible to have it set up for tomorrow's Walmart drop? I mean, if you have accounts ready, and yeah, there's no reason to not. It doesn't take that long. That's the other thing about these bots is like, here, let me see if I can't pull up the. I was just in this tab, so if you click this Need Help tab, they'll take you. Yeah, they both take you to their help forms. So, for example, here's Refracts. I can go here. Everything I need is right here. It's super, super in-depth guides, and they're written by the people that buy, or they're written by the people that develop the bot. So you can go through here and super in-depth. Oh, profiles. Tells you all about profiles. Normal profiles, jigged profiles, different phone numbers, address variations, ideas for jigging, things like that. And it shows you all these different ideas and avoiding errors, cancels. They also show you by website, Target. If you wanted, the Target beginner's guide is right here. If you read through all this, it's super easy to kind of get rolling. So it's not about, oh, well, I need days and days to prepare. I don't think so. I think the people that do the best are the people that buy the bot, set it up, and let it run and see what's happening. If they don't do so well on their first drop, they say, okay, what can I change for the next one? And they find the answer and they figure it out. Stellar has the same thing, super in-depth guides on all of their websites, and these are free to you. They also both have Discord servers with people who are talking and figuring it out and getting it rolling, just like we're doing here. So, so for Walmart, 1 Addy for many accounts is fine. Yep. Target, 1 Addy per 2 to 3 accounts. Jig doesn't work. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, that's correct. The payment method on each Target and Walmart account needs to be different, correct? Yes. That's why you'll need virtual cards, hard cards. For Target, you guys can sign up for their Circle Card debit. The debit just connects to your bank account and pulls straight from it. You still save 5% on absolutely everything. You save 5% on everything. And what was I going to say? Oh, you can add up to 5 extra authorized users. And since it's a debit card, you don't need their social securities to activate it. So you can just random ass people like that don't exist, fake names, and they'll work fine. And so that's it. Let's say you don't have virtual cards, but you still want to bot Target. That's an option. And that's a super easy option to get you rolling just to start out. Bang, you've got 6 cards ready to go. Not only is it 6 hard cards that you know work, but it's also 6 hard cards that save you 5% on everything. How how much can we expect to make in profit with a beginner setup, like per drop, maybe? Just curious. It just depends on how much you hit. If you bought the bot today and someone else bought the bot today, and you both set up and I'm air quoting again, beginner setup, you might hit and the other person might not. It could depend on your proxies, your speeds, the way you set it up, your cookies, things like that, all come into effect. And like I said, this call is more so just to show you guys like kind of what to expect here. The calls that are going to touch and highlight on all these different ways to set it up and in-depth guides on Target and Walmart and all these other websites are yet to come. Like I said, there should be 3, maybe 4 more calls. I'm working on scheduling them with Khalifa, and we're going to get it rolling and see if we can't get as many of you guys cooking as possible. Where to buy Refract right now? We just had, for everyone who's in here and didn't get the ping, I spoke with the people at Refract, and I was able to get us a discount on that first month. It's usually, or that first 3 months, because remember, you buy it in blocks of 3 months. They've raised the price over the last week or so. It's $500 for that first 3 months. But I was able to talk to them, get us an exclusive group buy code to make the initial price $400, so it's cheaper now. That's available in our group buy section. And that's just going to save you guys some money to make sure you guys can all run the bot. I know there's a lot of people in here who run Refract and swear by it. So I wanted to make sure that we got a discount code off of their new pricing as fast as possible to make sure as many of you guys could get it for a little cheaper than what it costs nowadays. I've seen people say user error if everything is instructed. In what way are mistakes are common with users? That's a good question. I think that the mistakes might be something. Usually, a lot of mistakes are proxy related, like just using shitty proxies. I'm working, like I said, with a bunch of providers to get us high quality like proxies and get you guys situated for like good deals. Usually anything I recommend you shouldn't have too many problems with as long as you use it on the site. I recommend, because some proxies might be better for Target, some for Walmart, things like that. Those would be your beginner mistakes. I mean, if you go through and read the guides that I just showed you guys that they have, it's hard to make mistakes. You also have to remember that sometimes, and this is not all the time, but sometimes it's a little bit of luck. Like Target restocks and there's people like collectively as a group, everyone who's botting is running thousands of accounts and there might only be a couple hundred stock. So not everyone's going to get something. Sometimes it just comes down to luck, and some days you'll get lucky and some days you won't. But a lot of it is skill based and user error. If you take the time to learn, you'll be good to go. And also, I have 43 of you in here like listening, and some of you guys I know bot, and some of you are looking to start, but my DMs are completely open. Like, come in, ask me for help, let me teach you. I don't mind. I don't mind the questions. I don't mind the whether it's a lot of questions over and over or things like that. I don't mind. So ask me questions. I'm happy to help get you guys rolling. That's the point of this. I don't want you guys to go and spend $400 on a bot and get nothing. Like, I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to do what I can to help you guys get rolling and see if we can't make money together. Do I have an LLC to deduct bot related expenses? Yeah, you can deduct pretty much all of these expenses. Their supplies, their operating costs, whatever you want to call them. Can we have both variants in the same monitor task tonight for SAMs, or how would we set that up to carve both? So if you're running Stellar, I know that I said we were going to say this for them, but I'll just kind of in it now. So if you're running Stellar, what you'll do is here, I'll just show you. So if you add an RC example, normal mode. Sorry. Here's what you do. You select your mode, and then you select your profile, proxy, session, quantity. You do 2 because the max quantity is 2. All this stuff, your main information that you need is here: product URL and offer ID. You'll take the PID, which I have right here, I believe. You'll take your PID. Sorry if you guys are here for the extra thing. This will only take a second. I just want to show him since this drop's coming up. You'll take either URL or either PID. It can be the black one or the white one. Put it in there, create your task. Then 5 seconds before the drop, what you do is you edit in both offer IDs with a comment between, or a comma between them. So you paste them both in there. And then you see there's a comma here. It's posted in the Stellar Discord under the Sam's Club Restocks and Release Guide. You just paste these offer IDs in there. And then about 5 seconds before the release, you edit the tasks. And then it'll pick it up and cart both before it checks out. Okay, back to the questions. I can give you guys my Capital One Peacemaker Plus. How long does it take to set up a starter setup? I don't think it takes that long. I think if you buy the bot and dedicate like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just to kind of get in a feel for it, that's more than enough time. I really do recommend this. I recommend this to a bunch of people. People don't do it, but if you do it, you're better off. I still to this day do it when I get a new bot. I open up those guides that I show you and I read it top to bottom. Whether it's stuff that I already know or not, I read it top to bottom. And sometimes it takes a few minutes to go through it all because some of them are pretty extensive. But after I'm done reading that, I instantly have a better grasp on what I'm doing. How often do drops happen? Walmart, you can expect Walmart once a week. Sometimes they skip a week. Sometimes they double up. But you can expect them on average once a week for sure. Target, you can expect Target multiple times a week. Like I said, it happens randomly. So you just leave the bot running, and when it happens, the bot picks it up and attempts to check out. Sometimes that stock's big and you get a bunch of checkouts. Sometimes it's medium and you only get a couple. Sometimes it's super small and you get lucky or not lucky, but they restock quite a bit. Websites like Costco, Sam's Club, Crunchyroll are pretty rare, I'd say. And then a website like Pokemon could be I'd say an average of once every 2 weeks for Pokemon Center. I know this was asked before probably, but any chances that regular memberships can work today or not? I got to go in and upgrade all my memberships. I don't know if it's worth it or not to pay $57 each. I have 50 accounts. I don't know. I don't think so. If you look at the Sam's page for these, it is like they make it very, very clear that you will need a membership or a plus membership. I think on the page, all it says is that plus memberships are required and guest memberships won't work. So I don't think it exclusively says like what it is, but that's the case. I wouldn't bank on it. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't bank on it. I think it's very possible that they enforce plus only, but who knows? Can you please explain Cat Monster and how beneficial it is? It's not beneficial at all anymore because now Stellar has AI for their whatchamacallit. So they have local AI right up here. You can see it's green. That means it's ready to go. It's good to go. Basically what that means is the bot will solve the CAPTCHAs for you. All you have to do is auto solve CAPTCHA with local AI. Make sure that's enabled, and so is auto click H CAPTCHA. What that means is when your CAPTCHA pops up, the bot will auto click the H CAPTCHA, which means open it, and then it will auto solve it using local AI. Their server side is different. That is like their server side where they solve it for you, but the local AI is better. That's why you can see I have 4 of them that run local AI, and then one of them that runs none, and that's the one I solve personally. The rest of these local AI takes care of. Local AI is very good. I love it. It's a semi-new feature. You don't need Cat Monster at all. What Cat Monster is it's an API you plug in, and it just sends the CAPTCHA data, but it's slow. It's not worth it. Just run the local AI on Stellar. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the section of me just kind of showing you guys what to expect, kind of how it goes. I'll sit here for like what 3 or 4 more minutes. You guys can ask as many questions as you want about. Well, I'll be on this call for probably another 20 or so minutes, just answering questions until I run out. When you guys are done asking questions, I'll call it a night on this call. But from here on out, you can ask questions about starting out. If you're experienced and you need help, ask questions. Whatever you guys need, just full Q&A here. You run proxies on your capture harvesters? Yes, on some of them, like half, I'd say. Like this one, since I saw it myself, I run no proxy. I run this one with no proxy. I'll put ISP proxies in these 3. The reason I don't have them there now is because I'm showing you guys my screen. So I pulled them out before I started the call. But yeah, I run proxies in like a couple of them at least. Okay, let's see. Would you say that Refract/Stellar allow you to just prep for drops and forget it? How often is there stuff that you need to be adjusted during drops? Is there an amount of product you can expect to hit over extended period of time? For example, if I invest $500 a month to acquire constant proxies and run all the same, can I expect to hit at least 200 products over the course of the whole year? So $500 is expensive. You won't have to spend that much. Your first 3 months of Refract are going to cost you $400, or your first 3 months of Stellar are going to cost you $150. But proxies, you can get a very decent proxy setup for no more than $60 a month. And a starter one might only cost you 30 or so. It's not extremely expensive to do it. I don't want to give you, oh, you'll hit this many. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say you're for sure going to hit this much, because as far as you and I know, I can't predict the future. Just like any other form of making money online, this does come with risks, I guess. But this is one of those forms of making money online that I feel like isn't completely smoke and mirrors like some of those other ones. And it really is, the more effort you put in, the more you get out of it. I don't think you'd have to spend $500 a month. That first initial like spend is what's going to hurt, I guess. And that'd be kind of the gist there. And then you asked, how often do you need to adjust it? Well, it depends on the website. So for Target, you just set it up once and you run it, and then you might adjust it like on the weekends or something. Oh, let me just tweak it, whatever. But that just runs 24/7. While Walmart, on the other hand, you sit there and you run it when there's a drop coming up, which is usually Wednesday nights. Stellar's definitely more hands-on, because the websites that you run on Stellar, you kind of have to be there. You have to know when they're dropping. You have to have notifications. I don't think either bot is just hit start and walk away, but you can like for Refract's easier to hit start and walk away, if that makes sense. I kind of just contradicted myself. That's kind of the how many drops to make my money back if I run Refract on a starter setup? I don't know. I really don't. As I wish I could tell you, oh, this many drops guaranteed, but I can't. I mean, this week ends in good drops. There's a good Walmart drop tomorrow, Wednesday night. There's a Ascended Heroes like extras, like the poster collections and the pin collections come out on Friday. Those are really good too. So you could make all your money back there if things go your way, but if they don't go your way, it might take a couple extra drops. I mean, it's just kind of how it goes. Walmart drops happen at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'm like losing my voice. Sorry, I got lost. I'm reading these questions. Can you tell us again what proxies you highly recommend tomorrow for Walmart drop for beginners? So I'm gonna have a group buy tomorrow with BART proxies. They sell residential proxies. Those are really good on Walmart. I like those. And then I'll also have group buys coming for should be able to get XYZ, should be able to get hype, and should be able to get lavish proxies. I like all of those. Might work with wealth too. Those are good options. If you want to DM me, I can send you links to all of these now. But for the most part, like I said, we're locked in. There will be a BART proxies group buy tomorrow before Walmart. Let's see. So if I already have a Circle debit card, I can get 5 more hard cards attached to the same account under different names? Yes. You just have to go to your Circle dashboard. It's like a separate website. You go to the dashboard, you log in, and then you hit like card controls and hit add authorized users. It's kind of hidden on the website now that I think about it, but you should be able to find it. If you can't, you can DM me. I'll show you where it's at. You could get 5 more. How long will the group buy last? Trying to see if I can buy it for April. Too late, potentially? No, it should be active by then. If it's not, reach out to me and I'll see if I can get the code reactivated. It should be active by then. But the reason I was trying to kind of rush this, because you guys saw the announcement, I put out a poll on Sunday asking who wants to learn how to bot. And then yesterday was the announcement that we were going to be doing this. And then the reason I'm kind of rushing it is because there's good drops coming up. There's a Walmart drop tomorrow. There should be a Target drop on Friday. And then, Walmart as we continue from there. So I just wanted to start this process as soon as possible. Like I said, if I had to guess, my schedule kind of changes, but I think I'm going to try and do this again on Thursday, because Thursday night would be like Thursday overnight, in the middle of the night between Thursday and Friday would be when we're expecting a potential Target drop. And the next session that I do will be geared exclusively towards Target. So I believe I'm going to try and do this again on Thursday. That way anyone who buys the bot can be ready by Thursday night. That'd be the goal. Because that should be a good drop to run for. Will Walmart be realistic to do well on tomorrow if I only have one Walmart account? Okay, so that's actually a good question, because I kind of forgot to explain this. The way the bot works is it does exactly what you do manually. That's the only way they can get it to work, because there's so much bot protection. They have to make it mirror what a manual user does perfectly. They just have to make it faster. So if you're only running one account, it's not much different than going manually. So I would, especially with Walmart, if you're going to get a bot for Walmart, do not waste your time if you only plan to run 1 through 5 accounts. You're going to need more than that, 100%. Like I said, I think 20 to 50 is a good starting point for Walmart. As to Target, though, if you're only going to run 1, 2, 3, 5 to 10 accounts, that's fine. You don't need a ton for Target. Where can you purchase Walmart accounts? I don't know. I'm going to find a provider and see if I can get a group buy or something rolling with there. I generate my own, but I haven't generated in a while. And when you generate, you have to use a phone number. So I'd buy phone numbers for them, but phone numbers just got a lot more expensive. So I think I'm just going to have to pivot to buying accounts from here on out. So when I find a good provider, I'll link it and we'll try and get a group buy or something going. But yes, you can generate accounts with AYCD. Is there a realistic way to get more Walmart accounts in a short amount of time? Yeah, you could buy them. Also, just make sure that though, you're going to need a different credit card for each Walmart account. So you'll need VCCs, Privacy Works even, a bunch of hard cards, however you want to do it. But if you're going to buy 50 Walmart accounts, you need to have 50 cards. Like I said, whether that's VCCs or not is completely up to you and fine. Let's say I have 25 to 50 emails for Walmart. Can Refract run all those accounts, or is there capped how many accounts? No, there's no cap. I run 400 or 500 on a single Refract copy, no problem. I think if you ran 2,000, you might want to, let me get a second copy of Refract and break it up, but there's no limit. No, 25 to 50 is nothing. For Refract, it's super smooth. Do I personally use AYCD? Yeah, I use AYCD. I've been using AYCD forever though. Back when I used to bot shoes and stuff still. So, yeah, AYCD is pretty good. It's useful. But like I said, it's not necessary. I said that at the beginning of the call. AYCD is not necessary. You don't need it. It can help, especially when you get to the point where you're like scaling up your setup. It has tools that are useful. Bad time to cancel. Yeah, it is. If you need VCCs, it is a bad time to have canceled your Capital One card. Might have missed this. Okay, so what time do I got? Hold on, I'll get to you in a second. Uh, I might have missed when you said it, but what's the best place to get a bunch of VCCs that don't require an LLC? Um, well, Capital One Enos work. Privacy works. Sorry, I'm setting. I have to get ready for Sam's now that someone mentioned it. Uh, Capital One's good. Yeah, Capital One's fine. You just need Eno VCCs, but the physical card should work good. A bunch of VCCs that don't require an LLC. You can get an Amex business card without an LLC. You just have to click sole proprietorship and put in your social security number instead of your EIN. And then privacy's decent, I guess. If you get a good limit, privacy's decent. And yeah, that's kind of the gist. You could get a city card, but the city VCCs kind of suck now. They changed it. So now, like, if you purchase something on a city VCC, the security code changes after every purchase. So you just have to constantly update the security code in your bots. It kind of sucks. It's not worth it. But they also offer VCCs. Is Capital One card fine? The physical card to generate multiple VCCs. Well, if your physical card supports Eno, not all of them do. If it does, then yeah, you can generate multiple. You can generate 20 per day on a Capital One card. Slash any good for Walmart or Target? Yeah, Slash is great for both. Some users say that Slash doesn't work as good on Target, but that's not really too big of a deal because you can get the Target red cards, the debit cards that I was talking about. What do you mean permanently? Like generate? Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah, if you're talking about when I said you can sign up for Amex, yeah, you can get an Amex and it's permanent. They don't take it away from you. You're sole proprietor. Oh yeah, 20 cards a day that last forever. Yeah. No, 20 Enos per 24-hour period. So if you generated 20 Enos today, you can generate 20 more tomorrow at this same time. But they're also site specific. So you have to generate for Target, for Walmart, for Pokemon Center, which does make it kind of a bitch. I'm not going to lie. It's not too bad, though. I mean, look, you generate 20 today for Target and then oh, sorry, I forgot about you, Jinzo. What time I gotta start? Sam's not gonna be home till 50. So what does it fucking matter if you're not gonna be home till 50? Just start them at 50 when you get home. The Stellar cooked Sam's. I mean, I wouldn't even say it cooks it. Like it's decent. It's not like insane though. Botting Sam's is kind of hard as a whole. I saw a lot of target drops usually happen. I'm usually sleep at the time. Could I run refract while I sleep? Yeah, you want to run refract 24/7 anyway, so you can sleep right through them. I do it all the time, and the bot checks it out for me, or at least tries. With any site, you have a ton of accounts if you really want to cook. Yeah, that's kind of the base. If you really want to like go crazy, you're gonna need a lot of accounts. Your PC should be running 24/7. Yep, really looking into mainly bot Pokemon Center and Target drops. I've heard Refract is good for Target, but it's Pokemon Center have the same luck. There's another bot better for Pokemon Center that I can also run Target. Refract doesn't support Pokemon Center. It's only got Target, Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon. It's great on all of those. The only bot that supports Target and Pokemon Center would be Stellar. The problem is that Stellar's not very good on Target, so you're kind of sacrificing Target to get Pokemon Center if you get Refract. Or if you get Stellar, sorry. So Stellar is only good on Pokemon Center. Pokemon Center, they're good on. No, they're good on Sam's. I just wouldn't say that it's like, oh, this is insane. They're good on Sam's. They're good on Amazon. They work on Costco really well. They're good on or Crunchyroll. Nvidia's good. If you run it all day and have residential proxy with like 5 gigabytes, how long would that last? You want to run ISPs if you're running it all day. You only want to run residentials on like specific, really just Walmart, truth be told. Really just Walmart. Everything else you want to use ISPs. Refract sounds better for me then. Yeah, if you want a hands-off bot, Refract's usually the move. Just because you can set it up and let it go. And then, does Bart sell Rezzies? Yes. I'm going to have a Bart group by tomorrow. They sell Rezzies. Those are my preferred Rezzies for Walmart right now. I think they're pretty good, personally. You might hear from other people, and that's fine too, because there's plenty of good Rezzies out there. ISP on Sam's? No, I'm running Rezzies tonight on Sam's. I'm purposely ignoring all messages that mention the H bot. Either one of them, actually. I hate both of those bots. Let's see. Do proxies matter on the bot? For example, Bart proxies would also work well with Pokemon Center drop on Stellar and also on Target drop with Refract. Well, on Target, you want to run ISPs. So you'd want ISP proxy from. I mean, Bart has them. They're kind of expensive. So I always like to recommend XYZ, Hype. Those are really good proxies for Target, the ISPs. And Pokemon Center kind of is best with ISPs as well. So, like I said, XYZ and Hype are really good options for ISPs, while Bart, Wealth, things like that are good options for residentials. So do you use ISP more than Resi? Obviously, if it's a time drop, a Resi, but otherwise an ISP, yeah, usually. What do you? I don't know what you're asking there, Scary. I have to regen my Enos because they're strict to expire. Can you still gen them without sight lock? I don't think so. I think they're all sight locked. At least the ones I gen are sight locked. Just got Halo beta. Looks like it was written with AI. I don't know. I also have Halo, but I haven't ran it because the reason I haven't ran it is because it's not proven. I'm not gonna waste my resources on a bot to test it and see when I know that Stellar and Refract have my back. So, I mean, seems like for the most part, a lot of our questions have slowed up. Um, I guess I'll just kind of start closing it out. Um, what does bar charge for ISPs now? I mean, they're expensive. I don't think they're fit. What is up with Rick? Why is Rick in here every time someone sends a message? Bart's ISPs aren't cheap, especially their like AT&T lines. I don't know. It depends on the discount that you get and things like that. But I don't think like you're paying $1 per IP. That's super cheap. I think 50 ISPs from Bart now would cost you somewhere between like $75 to $85, somewhere in that range, which I guess isn't too bad for 50 ISPs. Um, okay, so I guess I'm gonna start to wrap it up for the most part. If there's other trickle questions, feel free to ask. But I'm just gonna walk through kind of our plan for the next couple of days and sessions, etc. This was the first part of botting boot camp. Um, this was mainly just meant to familiarize yourself, show you guys which bots there are, and which one you guys might want to pick up if you do decide to pick one up. We have a Refract group buy. Um, there's a Refract group buy in the group buys channel that we just had. There's also Stellar one up there that you can cop from. I plan on doing another one of these extremely soon. That one will highlight just Target. It probably won't be as long as this one since this one's like the intro, but I'm really just going to go through Target, explain the setup, as well as take questions. Um, I figured this would be best to show those ones who wanted to buy it, give them a day or so to buy the bot, get familiarized, gather their questions, and then I would show them my thoughts. And then there'll be another one of these probably early next week for Walmart, and then late next week for all the other websites. That's kind of the plan I have in my head. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to talk to Khalifa, see what we can schedule, see what's cracking and stuff like that. Um, the group buy should be up. The Refrag group buy, I don't think it's going to expire, but um, you might be better off if you're seriously considering purchasing it. You might be better off doing it before our next session, just because I'm gonna go through Refract and Stellar. Even though Stellar's not as good on Target, I'm gonna go through with Stellar and show you guys how to set it up for Target, just in case you bought it and want to run it. I'll do the same thing with Walmart in a few days as well. And I think that's kind of the plan for those of you who are still in here. We've got 30 or so people in here still. Good luck on Sam's Club if you're going for Sam's Club shortly. I'm probably gonna call it there. If you guys have any other like questions that I didn't get to tonight or pressing matters, you can DM me. My DMs are always open. You can ping me in card chat. If you're not always talking in card chat, you should start. It's a great little area of the server where we all are cooking cards and making a lot of money. So make sure you guys are taking advantage. And like I said, DMs are open. Ping me, DM me, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm happy to help all of you with whatever questions you have. But as far as this call goes, I'm going to call it there. Thank you guys for coming. And there should be another one of these in the next few days.